not here. Oh, I don't care.
Orange says.
It's not
I
important.
see a mystery open port on a device on some line. What's a handy tool to interrogate to find what app is listening?
I see a mystery. So, what kind of question is this? But let's say you can always start with Nmap.
Teddington Nuke says.
Yeah, but who
What
do we want
OS?
to help? That's the question. Who are we helping? And why? What's the purpose? That's my thought. Security first, right? So I'm curious if
Orange says.
Ooh, sorry, it's completely innocent. It's not a PC. It's an oscilloscope. On my work network.
Okay. That's always good to know, I guess that your oscilloscope probably has a you probably have a manual, right? I have for the one in my dress drawer. It's nice how tiny they have gotten. Oh.
It's 5,850.
The port or what? The model number? Because I'm thinking you should look at the manual and see.
Probably for company SW uploads.
Okay, so you're it's nothing documented.
Port.
You're just curious what's there. Googling the port is also nice, and you can always try sending stuff, trying to connect to it. You can try different protocols.
Yeah.
Protocols and stuff. So, but you don't want to by mistake send something bad there too if it's unprotected configuration stuff.
It has HTTP and VNC listed in manual.
Yeah. So maybe I should look at mine.
I just thought maybe there's an app that helps Stig.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just a noob
I could always
too,
factory reset.
Okay, do you have problems with it then? Okay, or if you would happen to change something. Okay, yeah. But I think we'll continue with this. We have 45 minutes, but I have to go check on my kid first before we start anyway. But I feel the minutes just runs away from me.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem.
You're doing a great stream.
Thanks. No problem at all. I like the chat. It's just that just Mondays and
Even
Wednesdays.
though I don't actually sounds like this IRL.
You can change the voice, with if you do !TTS, then you get this message. It comes up sometimes too. You can set your voice and how your name is read.
LOL.
Yeah, but it's fun that people can set their voices because it's much more like a real conversation.
Orange says.
Okie dokie. Thanks.
Yeah, and I don't really mind. But what I was going to say was that Mondays and Wednesday I'm driving my kid to school at 13, so I need to make lunch at 12. So I can't stream for very long. So I'm trying a bit to more economic with the time. So I guess that's why I didn't do the lockpicking redeem. Maybe I shouldn't have it enabled though. The things are right here. I'm going to use, when I leave, I'm going to bring the phone that's usually up there for like a top camera view, and have it as my chat phone when I go IRL test streaming and move about a bit. So let's see if this is charged. It's supposed to be. It was charging just a bit ago. It's not on. Yeah, no, it's just going up all the way at once. It started at 0. Like, I'm not charged. I don't have any battery. It did. So let's quickly see how much we can do of this. And maybe we can go past 12 if I start making lunch and then go back here. Command injection. Learn about a vulnerability allowing you to execute commands through a vulnerable app and its remediations. Yeah. So, introduction. In this room, we're going to be covering the web vulnerability that is command injections. Once we understand what this vulnerability is, we will then showcase its impact and the risk it imposes on an application. Then you're going to be able to put this knowledge into practice, namely how to discover the command injection vulnerability, which is kind of good to know. How to test and exploit this vulnerability using uploads designed for different operating systems. How to prevent this vulnerability in an application. Lastly, you'll get to apply theory in practice, learning in a practical. I'm kind of curious, by the way, who made the last room? Sorry, but I'll be just popping back over to this one because I would like to see if there's, it's just to track me, right? So, because this was a nice one. So, we're back. This sounds like the same style. To begin with, let's first understand what command injection is. Command injection is the abuse of an application's behavior to execute commands on the operating system, using the same privileges that the application on a device it is running with. For example, achieving command injection on a web server running as a user named Joe will execute commands running this Joe user, and therefore obtain any permissions that Joe has. Command injection is also known as remote code execution, RCE, because of the ability to remotely execute code with an application. The vulnerabilities are often the most lucrative to an attacker because it means that the attacker may directly interact with the vulnerable system. For example, an attacker may read system files or user files.
You're meeting a killer Python.
I'm eating a what? Are you eating snake for lunch? So yeah, whatever. We know this. For example, being able to use the application to perform a command. Who am I?
It's an Australian gummy candy.
Oh, okay, okay.
About 1 foot long.
Oh, that's nice. That's lots of candy. Then you won't have room for any dinner later. Or whatever it is. What time in Australia? I guess you're in Australia then, right? What time? Is it like afternoon something? What could it be?
Looks like an actual python.
Fixerbot says.
New follower Sullivan GFX. Less than 3.
Welcome in, Sullivan GFX. Welcome in. To
Orange
list what
says.
user account
It's Python,
application
Tim.
is running. Oh, Python 2. Well, I don't get it.
6:50 p.m.
Teddington says.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm only just getting breakfast, Sepha 42 lol.
Yeah. And this is actually, the tea is my breakfast too, right? I had a bit of yogurt, a sandwich, but I didn't drink anything. So now it's just cooled off too, so I can drink it.
Orange says.
Breakfast injection.
Yeah. Being able to command injection was one of the top 10 vulnerabilities reported. Well, it's kind of the thing, right? Counter Security AppSec Intelligence Report 2019. Was framework. Well, they don't have to say it's important. My goodness.
Sullivan Effects says.
This is what
Where
we
is your
use.
accent from? I'm learning English and I think is a good accent.
Oh, thanks. I'm Swedish. I've lived a bit in Ireland, so sometimes I go a bit over there. But I've heard a lot of American. You know, in this school we were kind of like we were supposed to spell it the British way, but we never remembered to. You know, that kind of thing. So my accent is like mixed. I think you call it like just English. But thanks. So let's make a new note in our notes. I know I have stuff, of course, on this, but this is more like specific RCE. So let's actually call it that too. I don't have anything just like generally like that. So we did read it. Discovering command injection. This vulnerability exists because application often use functions in programming languages such as Python, PHP, and I switched the order of them to Node.js to pass data to and to make system calls on the machine's operating system. For example, taking input from a field and searching for an entry into file. Take this code snippet below as an example. In the code snippet, the application takes data from user that user enters in an input field, name title, to search a directory for a long song title. Let's break this down and let's look at it. So we have the PHP and we have the location of the songs, and it looks for the title parameter and it sets it to there if it exists then, and then it grabs it completes the command we had and put it between grep and a txt file, and then it executes this, meaning we can just send anything in there. Okay. And then it checks for the replies. Yeah, if the reply is nothing, it says it doesn't find it. So we don't have to read this because I just said it right. Text for whatever. The output of the now. This sort of information would typically be stored in a database. However, this is just an example where an application takes input from a user and interacts with the operating system. For an attacker could abuse this application by injecting the raw commands for the application to execute. rather than using grep to search for an entry in song title, they could ask the application to read data from a more sensitive file. Abusing applications in this way can be possible no matter what programming language the application uses. As long as the application processes and executed, it can result in command injection. For example, this code snippet below is an application written in Python. So import subprocess and Flask. So define execute command as subprocess popen shell subprocess std out read. Define command server shell approach shell. Okay, this is Flask thingies. This, I guess, because I don't know this at thing. At app. Right. I had that sometime. So it's waiting for reply from the server, right? And with the input. So let's see what it says. Note, you are not expected to understand the syntax behind this application. However, for the sake of reason, I outlined the steps of how this Python application works as well. The Flask package in this is used to set up a web browser. A function that uses the subprocess package to execute a command on a device. We use a route in a web server that will execute whatever is provided. For example, to execute whomI, we need to visit http flaskup tshem whomI. Okay, so the syntax here. So this is like a variable then. That's just sent on. Looks very secure. Which variable store the user embed in the PHP code snippet in this task? Oh, that's such when they go like this, like how could we find a question from this? And they choose the variable name. Title. We'll leave ITLE. Yeah, they want it all. So I'll copy. Because that's a complicated character to type. What HTTP method is used to retrieve data submitted by the user in the code snippet? Get. Or did I not? Yeah. It's so slow, I think it was wrong. If I wanted to execute the ID command in Python in the... Okay. So... Sorry for not reading the full question. Too obvious, you know. Exploiting command injection. You can often determine whether or not command injection may occur by the behaviors of an application, as you will come to see in the practical session. Okay. I'm thinking section of this room. Applications that use user input to populate system commands with data can often be combined with unintended behavior. For example, the shell operations semicolon and will combine two or more system commands and execute them. I have a problem with or more on both, sorry. just me used to fixing text. So let's see. I do have things for the RCE a bit, or rather command injection, but I'm not sure where. And I want to add to that because I'm thinking notes, maybe this is not like the best place to put it, but it should really be in web. Maybe this is it. Yeah, I think this is what I was looking for. So it's close by. That's good. Then we can just here. So the operators semicolon and an. Will combine several commands and execute them all. So, if you're unfamiliar with this command, I'm not, but let's look. I think I kind of skimmed through this a bit, but maybe there was a reason. Because if there are more things like this,
John Rosemary says, "Good morning, hello."
Good morning. Good morning. No, I don't think that's the thing to do. Let's continue here. So. Command injection can be detected by in mostly one of two ways: blind and verbose. I have defined these two methods in the table below. There are two sections underneath. We'll explain. Okay. They don't have to say that, you know. This type of injection is where there is no direct output from the application when testing payloads. You will have to investigate the behavior of the application to determine whether or not the payload was successful. And that's kind of the normal thing, right? This type of injection is where the direct feedback of the application once you have tested the payload, for example, returning home my command to the application. Well, I don't think this is two ways. I think it's the same. I'm sorry if I repeat that, but I don't think blind is anything else. You just see it a different way. Yeah, and we don't need to make comments or notes on that. Detecting blind command injection. Blind command injection is when command injection occurs, however there is no output visible, so it's not immediately noticeable. For example, a command is executed, but the web application outputs no message. For this type of command injection, we will need to use payloads that will cause some time delay. For example, ping and sleep commands are significant payloads to test with. Using ping as an example, the application will hang for X seconds in relation to how many pings you have specified. Okay, let's make some notes, like if blind, ping and sleep, it can be used. I don't see why not try to make it like a reverse shell at once. It can be used for testing. And getting a delay. And also, if you ping yourself and you listen, you can get that. Another method of detecting blind command injection is by forcing some output. This can be done by using redirection operations such as. If you're unfamiliar with this, for example, we can tell the web application to execute commands such as who am I and redirect that to a file. We can then use commands such as cat. But wasn't the point that we couldn't get any output? I'm thinking if we redirected it to make another HTML file so that we can read from the browser, then we could. That's what I thought they were going to say. If we can't execute cat and get her feedback, we won't see anything. Oh well, let's add the redirection to the notes. Alright, so we will need to actually use these, because special characters in Markdown. So redirect. So what was I going to say? Like to file that we might be able to read, which is kind of funny if it's blind, you know. And this is also really here, because it's not like I don't know what that is. It's just a tip to remember that. I assume they have been using it since they're typing it. Testing command injection is this way. It's often complicated and requires quite a bit of experimentation. Significantly, as the syntax for commands varies between Linux and Windows. The curl command is a great way to test for command injections. This is because you'll be able to curl to deliver data to and from an application in your payload. Take this code snippet as an example. A simple curl payload to an application is possible for command injection. We'll about process search the Beatles. Who am I? And I'm thinking, should we put this in the notes or not? To use curl. This was not kind of what I expected them to type. Okay, to test. So to test for blind.
Sullivan GFX says,
the Hacktricks book contains an interesting list under pentesting web/poach and polyglots cheat sheet hash command injection.
Nice, nice. Let's look at that as soon as I've just typed here. Curl. Let's just copy this line and have this as an example. Yeah, let's go to Hacktricks. So, is this a list? Okay. Pucks and polyglots. So somewhere down here, right? No? Am I blind? Did I miss something? Yeah, let's do another search. We could actually go to Hactrix first. Never been there before. And use their search to search for it was the spelling of polyglots that made me hesitate. So these are all interesting, right? So these are Pucks and Polyglot cheat sheet, and this is where the command injection bit here. Yeah.
There is a list,
Very
under
nice.
command injection section.
Yeah. That's a funny thing. Chat is delayed. So I get to say I know, though I didn't know when you typed it. So we're on the same page, right? Yeah. So same page, same page. So I think all of this is very interesting. Yeah, and I've seen lots of these to test if it does math or if it just, types 7 times 7. And these are definitely what I need in my list. And also this link, of course. So let's put this straight to the notes on injections to test there. And then I can look more at it later. So very cool, thank you. So this was just a tip search, and this was about command injection, which is also interesting and more information to look at. So not to get locked on those for now. I'm just adding it the other path to the notes here too, and I can look more at those later. This was a link from earlier for a tool, so we'll look at that somewhere, or I will. It's 15 minutes till my kid has school, or they're calling. So I'll have to see if I can wake him up. And if I can't, I'll have to send them a message. So how much do we have left of this bit? It's a bit, but not long for the section just. I'll actually go check with my youngest too what he wants for lunch. If it's not too much, I can continue streaming for a bit after 12. We'll see. I'll be back. So, kind of woke up my sleeping kid. But I think I'll send a message to school anyway, that he might have to call twice. So we'll see. Also started, he just wanted noodle soup, so I started the water boiling so I can continue for a bit more. We don't have to stop at 12. I want to continue. Just checking, not that there. That's the one I need to send to. Like at least 4 SMS addresses, or like phone numbers. That is, of course. For school. There. So I can't speak in English and write in Swedish at the same time. I'll be typing to English. So there. So I'm just telling them to try calling it a few times, because sometimes it works. Because he like, when Discord calls, you know, you want to answer, right? So you wake up even if you're a tiny bit asleep, and answer the call. So we'll see. Hopefully the water is already boiling down there. I don't know why I didn't keep the door open, so I can hear. No, not yet. And I only have one ear because there's one blocking it, unfortunately. So you don't have an echo on the TTS. Because I want to hear it too. So let's see now. We read about the curl. Detecting verbose command injection while detecting the easy detectable. This way is arguably the easiest method of the two. Verbose communication is when the application gives you feedback and output. For example, displayed in the yeah, I just got the reply. She thinks it will work. As if he knew how tired he was. Well, I have compiled some valuable payloads for both Linux and Windows. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So, okay, so it's just commands. Okay. So what level is this supposed to be? The command will hook. This was really, I said thank you before reading, so yeah. This command will be also invokes application to hang to usually test an application for blinding if the ping command is not installed. Okay. Okay, so timeout. I've never heard of timeout. So because this is just normal command, but I guess in Windows we don't use as much command line PowerShell as we used to, Should I enter timeout into my notes for Windows? Well, let's Google it, because now I'm curious. What's the purpose? Oh, and I was talking about this and it got a low battery. Battery full.
Also echo/cat if you can use /dev/tcp.
Yeah. So timeout Windows. Echo cat if you can use dev TCP. Do you have any? What are you thinking of? To use that to connect. But now we're on Linux, and this was the Windows bit. So, but if you have any suggestion what to add, please tell me. So what on earth does this out? Okay, so we can set the timeout in seconds. So it pauses, but a keystroke returns it. Similar to pause. Okay, so it's pause with a timeout. Timeout's kind of funny name for it, right? So no break, I guess. Ignore user keystrokes. Yeah. So 5 minutes for my kid for school. I need to check in on him. Wake him up again. I'm just scrolling back to the RCE bit in my notes here. No, I was actually scrolling down to Windows, right? Well, this is for Windows. Yeah, so this is actually Windows. Yeah, because we wouldn't do any of that if we had feedback. Wouldn't be interesting with timeout. Yeah, and this is actually like the same too. No, because this is more to test for to try and find if you have something specific to test or not, I'm thinking more like this, but you can try lots of different things.
I mean, the list said you can use sleep when you can't use ping in order to check the command injection, but using /dev/tcp to send data to your machine and capturing the data with a network sniffer I think is an option too.
Okay. Yeah, and then you could probably connect to, right? So that's kind of why I'm thinking this. All of these things, like redirecting to a file, why do any of this if you can just try and go for like a web shell or a reverse shell at once instead? It's probably easier because then you get the feedback, right? If it doesn't work, then you can try something else. I'll go check on the food and my kid. I'll be right back. There, so I just finished my yogurt, so I don't think I will need any lunch. Maybe I'll take something tiny, but no, my youngest have food, and I've woken my oldest up as much as I can. So it's just to continue. So let me reread your message. So when GFX, let's see. I mean, the list you said is sleep. Yeah, right. Do you have a good example that I can use to put in the notes, Sullivan GFX? How to use dev TCP, because you do like dev TCP and then you do the. By the way, let's actually dev TCP. Send data. We can just. So, because I have these kinds of things. Yeah, right, you just use slash between. But what? And this is of course not a correct thing, since it's a question. And it looked correct, so that's nice that they say doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that. So option 1, execat, and school can't reach him. So I'm just saying I've tried several times, unfortunately. Since this means I probably didn't sleep tonight. There's sleeping problems. Maybe I found something very interesting on the internet, something to read. Okay. Since my phone is logged into my kids'. Yeah, I guess I get their Gmail too. So I get the message that he's got a Discord message there. Because his computer turns off if he's not using it, She's not very smooth. I'll have to send a longer reply. There. So to send the data to TCP port using shell script commands. And we could also just search in my notes, because that's a good thing with me having fixed them, I don't get too many hits. So if we search for dev TCP, and let's also add like 1/more, so we have a bit more limited. So we can see that I have a few web shell. Yeah, this is how I have this. So this is box notes. This is let's open these. It wasn't that many hits, or it was many hits, depending on how you want to see it. So she replied again. Right, he got some work to do from school for the first time in his life. So it was bad timing. So she sent him some questions on Discord instead. I think she thought that I don't know. So you can't expect too much if there is a person that has big problems with things like clicking on that. She said thank you. So we'll see now. Where were I? So we have web shell to NC. Here I have this one. Yeah, so this is of course one of the things that we could send, and I also think yeah, the base64 one, it's similar. This one with base64, I think it might be good to have it there too. I have it in here too. No, this was just up. So we had it in bash. Oh, and it's showing it. That's nice. I've never clicked the stuff in the search before like that. Okay. So I'm looking for something. I think it's in my notes. But of course this one could also be I mean, we could try this one. And here it's instead. Oh. Okay. So, why is it marked yellow like this here? I don't know. Yeah, that's where I pasted it. Oops. So here is it there. Okay. Okay, right. Because this is in the fake service. Right. Yeah. And I thought this was so messy, so this was better. Yeah. So it's the same. And the numbers that are always here is just my Acme IP. Yeah, so I'm thinking I should have this one saved too, but I don't remember it. So I'll have to look it up. Also, I don't have huge amounts of time now, but I have more at least. So what payload could we use if we want to determine what user? Okay. Who am I? What popular network tool would we use to test for blind command? I guess you mean ping. What payload would we use to test a Windows machine? Okay, so they meant this. Oh, what was it? Timeout. So that's brain training, trying to recall the new thing. A good thing that the only thing that was new was in there. Remediating command injection. Command injection can be prevented in a variety of ways. Everything from minimal use of potentially dangerous function or libraries in a programming language to filtering input without relying on a user's input. I have detailed these a bit further below. The examples below are of the PHP programming language. However, the same principles can be extended to many other languages. Variable functions.
Vixerbot says.
New follower Ansuuvius. Less than 3.
Welcome in, Ansuvius. I'm cheating and imitating the TDS pronunciation. Ansuvius. Welcome in.
Ansuvius says. Hello.
Hello. So, well, yeah, exec path root system. Take the snippet below as an example. Here, the application will only accept and process numbers that are inputted into the form. This means that any command such as whom will not be processed. So, type text, ID ping, name ping, pattern. So, that's an interesting thing. I didn't know you can do a pattern. It's me being bad at HTML. New things. Now you don't even need code for this bit, though, of course, if you don't use the input, it's nothing. Or actually, what's this? Did this one also do that? Because this is a PHP, right? So it's not really... Whatever, let's see what they say about it. The application will only accept specific pattern of characters. The application will then only proceed to execute the data, which is all numerical. But it doesn't check it, does it? This function make input such as a string or user data and will execute whatever is provided on the system. Any application that uses these functions without proper checks will be vulnerable to command injection. Input sanitization. Sanitizing any input from the user that an application uses is a great way to prevent command injection. This is a process of specifying the format or type of data that the user can submit. For example, an input field that only accepts numerical data or removes any special characters. Yeah, here they actually look at it in the code instead. That's better. In the snippet below, the filter input PHP function is used to check whether or not any data is submitted. Whether the input form is a number or not. If it's not a number, it'll be valid. Invalid input. Bypassing filters. Applications will employ numerous techniques in filtering and sanitizing data that is taken from a user's input. These filters will restrict you to specific payloads. However, we can abuse the logic behind the application to bypass these filters. For example, an application may strip out quotation marks. We can instead use the hexadecimal value of this to achieve the same result. When executed, although the data given will be in a different format than what we expected, it can still be interpreted and we will have the same result. I assume that we will, get to the practical now. So, what is the term for process of cleaning? Sanitization. Let's copy it. So, I'm looking for the start button. Oh, one of these. I guess it will need time anyway. Deploy the machine attached to this task. It will be visible in the split screen view once it's ready. Test some payloads on the application hosted on the website visible in the split screen view to test for command injection. Refer to this cheat sheet. Okay, command injection payload list. We have a new cool link. Oh. Look, see. Look, very nice. Very nice. That's Windows and Unix. So, will we need to save this in 3 places at least? I kind of failed to swallow. It went both ways, I think. That was a new experience. Streamer problem. Needing to talk as soon as you swallowed, so you're already starting while you're swallowing. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. There. Here in my mouth. So. if you're stuck and wish to explore more complex payloads. Yeah, I want to save this one so I don't forget. Just to make sure we do things in the right way.
Nothing to be embarrassed, ABT, smiley face.
Thank you. It's like, when you get... So, I'm actually going to put it here too. There seem to be more things here too. We need to look at this just a bit more. Payload box. Look. What a thing. So nice. So some of the links you get, in these rooms are really great. Find the contents of the flag in home Troacne flag txt. You can use a variety of payloads to achieve this. I recommend trying multiple. So, yeah, so this is supposed to be an IP here. So we probably have like a ping. So let's assume that we can just like do this and try just doing cat with a name. With a name. The name. And see what happens. Here is your command. Output nothing. Alright, I did add an extra dot there. That's not necessary. Did I? No, I didn't have the cat on this one. So we don't get any output. So let's try. No, I didn't do it. Yeah, because I kind of forgot the semicolon. And that's not good. At first I even forgot the cat because I was pasted. I thought I had the whole command. What user is this application running as? Yeah, so let's do who am I to. VVV data. Well, is there anything else we want to test? I guess we should also submit them. What do we want to test? Do we have any other ways to read this? But we don't have any connection, right? So whatever. Let's continue. I guess we're done with this one. So well, information to end. Recap. How to discover command injection. So they just list it. Test and exploit. Prevent. Sanitize. Text. Playing or learning. So yeah, we terminated it.